W ad. Oh, W ad.
It was kind of odd. Like, you might not know this being from the States, but I'm telling you now, Asian women in the States and Asian women in Asia are completely different people.
Let me see the audio. Is the
Okay?
audio's good? Let me
Listen to
know.
me. Asian
Is it
women
too loud?
in the
In the
States and
comment
Asian
section.
women in Asia are completely different women. They do not carry themselves the same. They do not talk the same. They do not act the same. They do not dress the same. It is completely different, okay? Yo, what is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video, okay? Look, in this video, I'm going to be telling you guys what it's like dating in Vietnam and what it's like dating Vietnamese women from my point of view, okay? So I'm gonna give you guys
That boy
some real
Shoe,
life
man, we
examples.
gotta link
It's so
up
crazy.
again.
Recently, I went on a few dates with this girl. She could only speak Vietnamese, like no English, bro, at all. Like very, very little English, if any. And so it was a very interesting experience. And so I will say, look, so I believe that there are, like, I don't want to put all of the women in Vietnam in a box, but I will say it's about 5 different categories that I could put out there.
I'm not gonna lie.
That most of them will fit into in some way, shape, or form, especially.
I'm not gonna lie. I did go on like a couple dates in Thailand, but I don't think I ever went on a date with a girl that did not speak English. You know, that's I don't know. Shout out to Shu. I don't know how he did that. Maybe they was on Google Translate the whole time, and I know he been studying Vietnamese too, but I don't know if I could have went on a date with a girl that don't even speak even a little bit of English. Like everybody that I went on a date with, they spoke English, and it was a pretty decent. It was like I may talk about that later, but it was I thought it was good vibes. My dating experiences was kind of different, but I don't know. Let me see what he got to say though.
When it comes to dating, right? So number one is the traditional local, okay? And that's what this girl would be considered. A traditional local is basically, she's born and raised in Vietnam. She has very limited exposure to Western culture. All she knows is Vietnam for the most part. She doesn't really speak English. She's going to be family oriented. She's going to be conservative. She's going to have a strong sense of duty and tradition, you know what I mean? So yeah, she's super Vietnamese. You feel me? Like 100%, like all in with the Vietnamese culture, man. The ways of Vietnam. She's super with that. You feel me? When it comes to dating, though, this type of girl is definitely like shy and reserved, and especially like with foreigners.
That's another thing. I think
cautious. They are definitely.
I think most of the girls that I interacted with, they had some experience with foreigners, like a little bit. But that one time when I was in Vietnam and I made the video about it because it was just so funny. When we first met, because we met on like it's not a dating app, but we met on like finding like a friends app type thing. And so when she messaged me, she was like, I forgot what she said initially, but she somewhere down the line, she was like, let's go on a date, or would you go on a date with me? And then I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And she was like, are you serious for real? Like I was like, yeah, why would I be joking about it? Like I was, it's no harm to me, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to meet new people, chop it up. And she was like, she was acting surprised. So I was like, I don't know, like maybe she had a long-lasting dream of going on a date with a black guy or just hanging out with a black guy. I don't know what she had going on. Like I said, I did that story time of how she ended up like ghosting me, I guess, kind of after the date, even though she said she had a good time and all this other stuff that we, hung out, went to the park, all that. But she was like, she she just ghosted me. But I don't know.
Definitely more as long-term thinkers, like girlfriend and wife marriage type vibe, not really like, you know what I'm saying, something like short. And so my experience with this girl was very interesting, right? So I ran into a few issues. She, number one, beautiful girl, awesome girl, good personality. We got along pretty well, but it was some issues that I ran into, right? So number one,
Should I?
she came to my birthday party, I remember.
Okay, I'm gonna just put it on 2.
Not a lot.
Not
like,
2 times. They put it
a
on
few
1.5.
people
Let me
were
see.
at my birthday party and was like,
Or
oh,
1.2.
like felt some type of way because it's like I didn't give them all of my attention or like something like that. So I've learned, like, I think women in general, but like definitely like Vietnamese women, like they be needing a lot of attention.
Asian
And
girls, they definitely gonna want
unfortunately
to.
do not have a lot of attention to give. I have a fun time and a good experience and a cool lifestyle, but attention, a lot of time I don't have to offer, unfortunately. And but she felt some type of way about that. So I think like
they definitely gonna want a lot of attention. They definitely gonna want to be around you 24/7. Like if that's your girl, then she not going to leave your side. They're gonna want to do everything together, and that's just how it's gonna be. So if you're not prepared for that, if you don't want that type of clinginess or something, I don't know, tell her to get some hobbies, do something. But she definitely gonna want to do everything with you for sure.
She brought me a cake for my birthday too, so shout out to her, man. She was cool people though, you know what I mean? But so outside of that, right? So that was like the first like little issue we had. She was like, oh, she felt like I had her waiting at my party, but I'm like, fuck, like I had a lot of people waiting. Like, you're not special, you know what I'm saying? Everybody was waiting.
That man shoe.
Like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like I do what I want to do, bro. It is what it is. You feel me?
That man shoe holding frame talking about somebody do what I want to do.
That was our first time hanging out outside of our meeting wherever we met her, and then you know she came to my birthday party, but we didn't even hang out like after that. You know, I talked to her for a little while at the party, but of course I can't just sit here and talk to you like the entire party, which is kind of seems like more of what she want. I'm like, bro, like what the heck is?
I mean, if it is your birthday, I don't know. See, some stuff I don't know. Once again, and also you got to understand too, like if you coming from different cultures and stuff, you know, expectations may be a little bit different between y'all. I'm not necessarily talking to Shu right here, but I'm just talking like in general, like expectations may be different because like I said, y'all come from two different cultures. To us Americans, you know, they already have a image of us or how we gonna be, how they think we gonna act and stuff like that. And I will say a lot of the media that they see from black people is mostly just like rap stuff from TikTok. It's basically degenerate activity. I'm not gonna lie. Like when I'm over there and I look at, you know, TikTok feeds of people in Thailand and stuff, I just look at like what type of content are they getting from America, and honestly it's mainly just degenerate activity. They got 304s shaking their booty on the TikTok. They got the 304 activity TikTok trends, the guys doing degenerate stuff, even like the movies that they show, because like on Netflix, right, Netflix don't have like every single Western movie. Some movies get ported over to their Netflix, but they don't have all of them. And I was just looking the other day, well not looking, but I was thinking the other day, like we was watching it was a new Tyler Perry movie that came out, I think, and it was with Taraji P. Henson, I think, is in the movie, called I forgot what it's called, but it's new. It just came out on Netflix. And it was like just poor, like she's a poor woman or whatever working at the grocery store and stuff like that. And I'm like, low key, bro, now I kind of understand why they keep on pushing this whole image thing, because the only images that they see for real is like black people, they like poor and just stuff like that, or like they rap or they in the hood and stuff. Like it's no image or movies where it's like black people successful, stuff like that. And so for Americans, obviously we know that it's successful like black people and stuff like that, like everybody, not just one stereotype. But now I see why when you go to like Japan or wherever you may go to other places, they just think black people are just one type of thing, like a monolith, just because that's the only type of content that they get pushed, especially like on Netflix and like TikTok and stuff. They only get the bad stuff. They don't see everything else that we do. But let's keep on watching this.
Like 25 other people here, you know what I mean? I can't really just sit here and just talk to you. And we don't speak English, so it's like it's too much going on, you know what I mean? And you know, it's a lot going on. But anyway, so outside of that, we ended up going to like this coffee shop, and you know that was cool too. But it was kind of odd, like in the Uber or Grab, you know, the driver obviously he can speak English, and so like it's low key was like kind of odd to me, kind of weird. Like she's like talking to him in Vietnamese. I have no clue what's being said though. I literally don't know what they're talking about at all, and that's like kind of, I don't like that feeling of just being like completely left out. And it's like, and I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know what he's saying to her. I don't know, they could be saying anything. I'm like, hell no. Like that's already like, I'm not. It's not like she fuck is going on. I don't know what he's saying. I don't like that feeling of just being like completely left out.
Funny,
and it's like, And I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know what he's saying to her. I don't know. They could be saying anything. I'm like, hell no. Like, that's already, like, I'm not, and it's not like she could just say, oh, yeah,
That's
he
how
said
it
this.
be though.
She can't even say that.
Like that's how it be. You sometimes you just when you overseas, bro. Sometimes when they start getting to speaking their language, you just not gonna be knowing what's going on. Especially like when I'm with Rosie and stuff like that, and like she with her friends, bro, and they be talking, bro. I don't know what they be talking about. I know a little bit. Like I try to learn a little bit of the language, like so I know a couple words in Thai, or like when she on the phone with her like parents and stuff. Like I can understand when she asks like, "Oh, did you eat today?" Like stuff like that, like surface level. But when she with her friends, it ain't no telling what they talking about. It ain't no telling what she said. They may be talking mess. They be maybe talking about some, "Oh, I'm using him for his money." They may be saying a whole bunch of crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it do get crazy. That's why learning the language is important because you can't be caught lacking, you know what I'm saying, when they start speaking a different language. But one friend, I'm not gonna lie, one friend, she'd be like, oh, let's talk in English because like I don't want him to feel like left out and stuff. I'm like, nah, y'all good, you know what I'm saying, have y'all conversation, because sometimes I get it, like it's easier to just speak in like your native language, you know what I'm saying. If that's if I was hanging out in Japan and like I was with a Japanese homie and an English homie, and I'm just trying to my best to speak in Japanese, bro, I'm not gonna feel comfortable because I'm not gonna be able to express myself how I want to and just say what I need to say. You feel me? So that's why I just, you know, that's why I'd be like, nah, just speaking English. I mean, just speaking Thai, because y'all want to talk how y'all want to talk. You feel me? But nah, if it can get crazy though.
Because she can't speak English. You feel me? So that was kind of like a weird situation going on. And then on top of that, after we got to the place, it was chill, it was cool, and even like I ain't gonna lie, using the Google Translate, I think because we both were like genuinely interested in each other, it wasn't that big of a barrier. Like it wasn't that big of a deal. She didn't have a problem with it. I didn't have a problem with it. We hung out all night, talked with the app all night or whatever. But I will say, communication isn't all about what you say. A lot of it is about how you say it. A lot of it is about timing. A lot of it is like the tone of your voice. A lot of it is whether you're joking, a little bit of joking, a lot of bit of joking, whether you're serious, whether all of this goes into a relationship and communicating when dating. And especially like as a guy, supposed to be a leader, like you have to communicate a certain way, but it's almost impossible to do that
Facts.
when you aren't able to express yourself. You aren't able to give the jokes. You aren't able to have the perfect time, and you aren't able to, you know what I'm saying, you're going, like you have to rely on an app to perfectly translate what you're saying in real time, and it doesn't really work as well. And that is like another like little issue that I ran into.
I'm not gonna lie, it's one video from Shoot that is just so funny, bro. It's the I kind of want to watch it. I don't know if I'll watch it today, but it was just so funny. I just thought about it, but I don't want to spoil the joke. I may just wait until I actually watch it on stream. That junk is so funny.
I'm like,
though.
damn, bro, this is actually like annoying, and it's like, it just makes it more difficult. You know what I'm saying? It makes it more difficult to like her to understand me, get to know me, feel where I'm coming from, et cetera, stuff like that. And then on top of that, another issue, like it was a lot of issues. Like I said, it was cool, but it was a lot of issues that I ran into like in this type of situation. I think, for me, right, and I think other like in Western culture, I think affection is more of a normal thing, common thing. Like it's not, unless I'm crazy. Y'all let me know if I'm crazy or not. But it's not normal to like hold hands on the first date. If the vibes is there, the vibes is good. It's not completely normal to just hold hands, right? Or even kiss on the first date. That's not even completely out of the ordinary, right? If the vibe is right, you feel me? And so, but I think like her culture, I think they're way more reserved, and that's not completely normal. So it's like times where maybe I'll try to hold your hand, but it's like she's like, I'm not sure about that. Like, I'm not ready for that. You feel me? Not like completely like dubbing me, but like I'm not ready for that. And it's just like it's hard for me to like pace the relationship, pace the dynamic.
I have heard though that in Vietnam the girls are a little bit more reserved than say like Thailand and maybe some of the surrounding countries. Because I know in Japan too, they said that if you holding hands in Japan like with a girl, that mean that's your girl. Like we not just holding hands to be holding hands. You feel me? Like that's not something we on first date. She not gonna be trying to hold your hand. That's too much breaking the touch barrier. They not trying to do that on the first date. No matter if you a foreigner or a Japanese person, they don't want to touch. I mean, hold hands. They don't even want to hug. They don't want a side hug. They don't want nothing on no first date. Like you gotta basically It's no touch barriers being broken on the first date in Japan, from what I heard from people experiences. Not that I would know, but I'm just saying. So I can understand what he's saying. So maybe it's the same way. They take any type of physical contact serious. So holding hands, hugs, like they don't even want to hug on the first date. After the date, y'all vibing, everything cool. She still don't want to hug you because it's just not a part of their culture. So that's just something that we got to get used to because we Americans and maybe other Western countries, we'll hug like he just said. We'll hug. Sometimes you kiss if the vibe is there. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you do a little bit more if the vibe is there. But not saying that you can't do that in other countries as well, because obviously not every person is the same. But just more than less, they're gonna be more reserved in Asia in general. But specifically like Vietnam and Japan. Thailand, I think is a little bit more flexible because I think I was like, oh no, when I was in the, now that I think about it, when I was in Vietnam, she did want to hold my hand. She initiated the holding hands too. She initiated it. I we was just walking, like I said, because we went to the park and we had to walk down the. We walked there. We didn't even like take a bike or drive or nothing. We walked there to the park because it wasn't that far. And so she started holding my hand. So I mean, like I said, but that was in Hanoi too. So I don't know. Like I said, maybe that girl just had a fetish for black dudes. I don't know what it was, but it's a mixed bag. So you just got to get there and see whatever the situation hands it, whatever whatever is handed to you, you just got to take what's handed.
The way we're moving, if I can't just lead it in the way that I want to. So that's like another issue that I ran into. And she might show her way of affection in a different way. You know what I mean? So, but and also it could be maybe she just wasn't like extremely interested. Maybe she just like wasn't even interested in me like that. You feel me? But it didn't seem that way. It seemed like she was pretty. I mean, she brought me a cake for my birthday, so she had to be some type of interested. And I think also like I was saying earlier, I think like women. I don't know if this is all women, but she required a lot of attention, and I will say that unfortunately I just don't have that type of attention. But maybe it was also a thing of where I think I was the first foreigner she was dating, and so she was very skeptical if I was really like trying to date her seriously or build something or really get to know her if I was really interested in her. I believe that might have caused her to be way more strict and skeptical and of everything I do. So like if I don't text back for a day, she might feel like, okay, he's not serious. And truth is, bro, I'm just busy. I don't have time to text you back. Some days I'm not gonna text you back. I don't have time, bro. I literally don't have time. And so
I don't want to keep.
Those were the issues I ran into dating.
Because I feel a lot of these like same things. Like I'm agreeing with a lot of the stuff he's saying. Because sometimes, especially for us, like being a foreigner in a different country, we can't work in that country. Like we gotta, for the most part, unless you have like a work visa and you're actually like working as a school teacher or like actually working in that country in a professional field, for the most part, everybody else there are entrepreneurs. They self-employed. So we got to get it. If we don't go out and do something or like make our money, do whatever, then we not going to be able to live in that country. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to have money. So our work time is not the same as they work time. Like it's not a normal like 9 to 5, like how they can maybe go to work at 9 to 5. Like sometimes we may have to do something that we may have to work at 1 a.m. We may have to do something at 8 p.m. Like a lot of times we gonna have to do stuff at night because we're still operating on American time, even though we're in Asian country or a different country. You feel what I'm saying? So we gotta be on American time because maybe we got a client that's in America or whatever the case may be, and we gotta be up at 3 a.m. and doing stuff. Not me, but I'm just saying that may be the case. And your girl or whoever, they may not understand that. They may not be used to that, and it may be something different for them. And that's just one of those another hurdle that you have to face when dating in a different country, for real.
Type of girl. But I think if you are interested in that, then you just know you have to have a lot of patience because it is going to take time to build a connection. You can't really just build it how you usually would if you could just talk in English. And so, yeah. especially if like maybe if I do it again and again, like maybe I give it like 4 or 5 times, then I might understand how to do it more, blah blah blah. But just the first time, no English and no Vietnamese, bro, it's gonna be difficult. So I would say you definitely need to learn some Vietnamese as well, a lot of Vietnamese, and definitely just be patient. You feel me? So number 2 is the modern, I would say like Vietnamese Western hybrid. Okay, they are very tapped into their roots, but they are also very open. Not very open, but they're open. You know what I'm saying? They're down to experience new things. They aren't like they aren't as closed off. They usually know English. They might not know it perfectly. It might not be fluent. They might still have a very strong accent. They might still be learning very much so, but they are open to dating foreigners. They are open to learning English. They are open to Western culture. They aren't extremely influenced by it, but they are open to it. They don't just have a blind eye to it. It's not like it's just non-existent. The other girl I was just talking about, Western culture is non-existent. Outside of
Yeah,
music,
I never experienced.
that's it. That's all she really knows, like music, and then like she might know like Selena Gomez, like that's it, gang. You know what I'm saying? But she don't know Thug. She don't know your Thug. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah. So this girl, like the number 2, like the Western Vietnamese hybrid, yeah, she's gonna be more open. She pretty much holds to her values. It's pretty much the same thing. I would say this is probably the most ideal girl that you can find if you're looking to date somebody with as least friction as possible. I'm gonna continue on the list, but I think this is, in my opinion, your best bet if you're looking for like a traditional Vietnamese woman, like a healthy relationship that's gonna work out this and the third. I think this would be your best bet. Okay, the hybrid. You know, she's still
The hybrid.
Family,
That's kind of that sound kind of crazy.
You know,
I'm not
cool
gonna
like,
lie. That's a
long-term relationship.
I ain't gonna lie to you. That sound kind of crazy calling a girl a hybrid, because we got a hybrid can mean a couple different things. No, I'm just playing, but nah, that it just sounds funny saying a hybrid.
Or something like that, something more serious, but you also want something with some cultural connection to it. That's like perfect. Okay. Now number 3 is like this girl, but instead of being rooted in her Vietnamese culture, she is obsessed with Western culture, okay? Like, she has the Westernized persona, okay? She acts like she's from the West, you know what I'm saying? She's like the Vietnamese IG baddie, like, this is what we're gonna call that, okay?
The Vietnamese IG baddie.
You would think she's never
Vietnam
been
do
in
have
Vietnam.
baddies.
But she's born in Vietnam, from Vietnam, this, that, and the third, but she is obsessed with Vietnamese culture. She loves Instagram. She wants to be an influencer. She shows her body on the internet. All this type of stuff that these girls do in the West, she is gonna be doing the same exact thing. But I think it's a bigger red flag because she didn't grow up like that. You know what I'm saying? Her parents didn't raise her like that. The culture doesn't support that. So yeah, and sometimes because of this, like going against the culture, she might be a little bit rebellious. I think it's important to like figure out why she is completely like throwing away her culture pretty much, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but every now and then, you feel me, like maybe like Vietnamese New Year, she gonna pop out her little Vietnamese costume. But any other time, man, she was some IG baddie type vibes, man. And you know, hey, if that's what you like, you know, that's cool. I would say this: they are fun, a great time, spontaneous. They're down for whatever. Like, you have a good time, but I don't know if they are best for a long-term relationship. If you are down with like dating an IG baddie type girl, or a girl who just is obsessed with like a culture that isn't hers, like, I'll say another thing that's odd too, like with these girls. I think like I think it's strange when I see like Asian women just obsessed, or like I guess it may be a fetish if you could say, like with black men, right? And a lot of these women, they do tend to date black men. They like hip hop, they like Afro beats, blah blah blah, this and the third, man. I prefer my girl to me, right? I don't want to be like let's say she's from Vietnam, right? I don't want to be the 7th black guy that she dated, right? I'm not interested in that. Me personally, like, you feel me? I'm
nah, I feel that. That's mainly I ain't gonna lie though.
And yeah, you feel me? I'm not interested in that. So
like a lot of times when you overseas, it's gonna be hard because it's really only 2 situations that's gonna really play out. Honestly, if we being honest, it's only gonna be 2 situations that play out. You're gonna have the girl that's basically in her culture. So let's just say Thailand, for example, since I'm in Thailand, right? Or I was living in Thailand. You're gonna have the girl that's, like he said, that's open to dating foreigners. Maybe they don't date foreigners all the time. Maybe, like he said, it's a hybrid. You know, they may date a foreigner, they may date a Thai person. But, you know, you're not going to be, it's not like, oh, I'm only dating like foreigners or whatever the case may be. I'm only dating black guys. She dates, you know, what she likes, and she speaks, you know, a little bit English. She speaks Thai. Good. Or you're just going to have the person that's obsessed, like he said, with black people, and all they exes is going to be black. They probably went to Okinawa in Japan. They got ran through by the whole military team in Okinawa. You feel what I'm saying? So it's just you really only have it's a mixed bag. So you got to take what you take. Well, not take what you take because you obviously have a choice, but those are gonna be mainly the two options. You feel what I'm saying? Like I understand what he's saying too. Like that's why if you're taking it serious, like if you stand there for a long time and you really trying to date and find somebody you can stay with long term, then obviously you need to be doing some type of background checks. Like what countries have you been to? Other countries? Because like I said, if they've been to like anywhere where it's a military base overseas in Asia, that's gonna be an automatic red flag because you know what they was doing over there. Then you know what the military dudes was doing over there. We don't even have to go too deep into what they was doing. You know what they was doing over there. And the girls, they love it because they bring in, and a lot of times on the military bases, not on the base. Well, they have it on the base too, but they have like a America town. I don't know if that's only in Japan. That may be like that in other Asian countries that have military bases too. Maybe like in Korea somewhere, but they have like a America village or America town where they just sell a bunch of American snacks and foods and stuff like that. So a lot of the girls, if they frequent those areas, then you know what type of time she owns. She probably got a whole bunch of black exes. She probably know a whole bunch of dudes in the military. She probably using the craziest slang. She basically just Americanized 304 at that point. So Asian Asian Americanized 304. So at that point, you know what you're dealing with, and you just got to move accordingly. Like he said, she may be a good time because you know it may feel home to you. So it may feel like, oh, this is cool. Like I'm with a Vietnamese girl or a Thai girl, Japanese girl, but she hip. She know the current song. She know the slang and all this stuff, and she probably is a good time. You know what I'm saying? They do say that 304s do have you can't have the best times like as a homie type vibe with a 304, but that may not be what you're looking for in a relationship. You feel what I'm saying? So you just gotta, I don't know, choose the good with the bad. Try to find that hybrid like my man was talking about. Speed Tricker, what's up, man? Don't lie, appreciate that.
But yeah, so I just think that's just another type of girl. You feel me? Like I said, they are definitely fun and spontaneous and all of that stuff, man. But yeah, it's just like I said, you just gotta figure out why. Why is she like so into this culture? Why, like, what does this mean for her? Why does she love this type of music? Why is she at all of these type of parties? Like, how long have she been doing it? You know what I'm saying? You gotta start asking questions, the real questions. You feel me? Like you don't know. And then also like I was saying with the rebellion, like if they are rebellious, like let's say their family doesn't come from a culture where it's like acceptable to date black guys, or let's say you know, like the way she moved isn't just like she's just rebellious towards her culture. I think that would probably also just I've never dated a girl like this, but I would assume that rebellion would also like go over to the relationship, and you'll probably have issues like just trying to like lead the relationship and stuff like that. So like I said, good for fun, good time, this and third. But like other than that, I mean, I'm not really sure if it's something serious. But next is the overseas Vietnamese, okay, that has returned to the land for whatever reason.
The overseas Vietnamese.
Maybe she just wants a cheaper lifestyle. Maybe she just visiting. Whatever the case may be, right? These are called Viet Qs. That's Vietnamese people who are Vietnamese. I think maybe they were born in Vietnam, or maybe they're just live there for a certain time. I don't know if you have to live there to be considered VQ, but anyway, they are Vietnamese people who grew up in another part of the world, the Western world, probably. So like, might have grew up in Germany, might have grew up in the USA, might have grew up in Australia. And these women are also very cool. I will say that they give a sort of, they make you feel like home. You know what I'm saying? They give you something that you're used to. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they talk like girls that you know. They can relate to the jokes that you can relate to. They know all of the trends and stuff like that. They aren't necessarily like the Vietnamese baddie, like I was saying. They aren't necessarily
the Vietnamese
with,
baddie,
like black
bro.
culture,
These names, bro.
Western culture or anything like that. They are just from that culture, and so it's not like a obsession. It's just like a this is who I am type of thing, right? And I will say, where she is from, that is how she is going to act. You feel me? And so if she was born in the USA, she is going to act like a woman from the USA. And I remember somebody was talking about like I don't know what video it was, but they left a comment on the video like you didn't have to go to all the way to Vietnam to meet Vietnamese women. You could just went to like Gwinnett County, which is like a place in like in Georgia where it's like a lot of like Asian. And I was like, I think I commented like it's not the same. And the thing is, like, you might not know this being from the States, but I'm
Yeah, that those type of comments don't make sense. They like, why would you go to Asia? I guess why would you go to Asia to date Asian women, or why would you go to Europe to date white women or whatever? Like, people not gonna act the same, obviously. Like he's about to say, Asian women that's born in Asia are not gonna be the same as the American Asian, or like, you know what I'm saying? So like, different cultures, different countries have different cultures and how you raised and whatnot. So obviously, like, it's gonna be totally different, and especially in Asia, bro, the treatment that you gonna get, especially if she's a traditional, more leaning on the traditional side, not all the way, because to even deal with you, she got to be a little bit less traditional to even want to interact with a foreigner, to some extent. But to even for her to be even on the traditional side, the treatment is just gonna be much different. They're gonna be doing stuff that you didn't even know that women would do, like stuff, just little stuff too. It's nothing even big, but it's just stuff like when the water come to the table, just pouring your water first, or pouring everybody water, you know, feeding you food, just doing just little stuff that, it don't seem like a big deal, or you may not even have thought of it, but that's the stuff that they're gonna be doing. And a lot of the times, like, a Western woman, not that is, like, I guess, a bad thing, but it's like they just not doing that because it just may not even be a thought that crossed their head. But over there, especially in Asia, it's more of a culture of caring for others before yourself, like putting others up before yourself. That's why it's so quiet in a lot of the Asian countries. And they're very mindful of their surroundings and how others feel, and like, just they're, like I said, they just care more about others than themselves. Not care more, but they keep others in mind. So that's why they try not to do anything that would disturb, the general population, especially while in public and things like that. So if you're in a relationship with a Asian woman, just because we're talking about Asia, she's definitely gonna be more on the caring side about you, like putting what you want and your needs first, and just making sure you good before she's good. You feel me? And that's gonna make you put her. That's gonna make you basically look at her in a more positive, just want to do more stuff for her because she's just always looking out for you type stuff.
I'm telling you now, Asian women in the States and Asian women in Asia are completely different people. Okay? Listen to me. Asian women in the States and Asian women in Asia are completely different women. They do not carry themselves the same. They do not talk the same. They do not act the same. They do not dress the same. It is completely different, okay? I'm telling you that right now. Like, they are westernized, 100%. It's completely different. It's not the same thing at all, bro. And I'm telling you right now, like, if you I'm just telling, bro. Just trust me. It's not the same. I'm not gonna say necessarily in a good or bad way. Even though I personally would not date a Asian woman from the States, just because, like, I'm not really interested in dating women in the States in general. That's just another woman in the States. She just looks a little bit different with a little bit of cultural background. But for the most part, she's gonna be just like every single other girl in the States, or every single other girl in her area, because that's just normal human nature, right? You adapt to your society and who you're around and your friends and stuff like that. And so yeah, that's what they're gonna do. If you meet these girls, they are going to act just how they grew up on, which is not crazy or out of the ordinary, but it's just something to take note. So if you aren't interested in American women, then you might not want to date this type of woman because she's going to act like an American woman, right? The dating process is going to be the same. She's going to have the same expectations. She's going to have the same talking points. She's going to have the same viewpoints on family. She's going to have the same viewpoints on working. Like, everything is pretty much going to be exactly the same, right? And the same with, like, European women or Australia, like, whatever the case may be, bro, they're going to be the same. You know what I'm saying? Because that is who they are, and that's who their identity aligns with. And I will say, a lot of times in the Asian community, from what I've seen, especially like where I grew up at, 90% black high school, like outside of Atlanta, it is what I see is, like, because you stand out so much, you do your best to fit in, right? And so you take on these qualities of the people around you even more. Like, so That's why you see like Asian girls in Atlanta. Bro, if you've been to Atlanta, bro, you just know like baby hairs, lashes, like all that
Baby
type of
hairs,
stuff. You
lashes.
don't necessarily see that. Not even you don't see that in Asia. You're not gonna see girls like Asian girls with baby hairs and stuff like that, bro. You're not seeing that in Asia. I hate to break it to you. So yeah, that doesn't really exist. Okay. And if it does, I would say it's a red flag. You feel me? Like there's no need for all like you know what I'm saying? Like so yeah. So they're going to be of their culture, and I think they overcompensate, and because they need to fit in, they kind of like just dish their culture and adapt to what's around them, and I think that just ruins the purpose of going to another country and trying to experience the culture. Like you can just stay in America if you want to do that, or wherever you're from. You feel me? So that's another type. But once again, very cool. And like I said, you will have like it's easier to bond because you guys come from the same type of background. You guys can relate to the same type of things. You guys come from like even like for example, if she grew up in the West, she might be down to smoke weed and shit. That isn't necessarily like going to be true for all of the girls in Asia. You know what I'm saying? Some yeah, but some not really. You feel me? But that's like more of a Western thing. It's normal in the West. If you try to just get like one of these traditional girls to hit a J, bro, it is likely not going to happen. You feel me? She could be down with it, but like usually that's somebody with a Western influence that's going to be down to do that type of stuff. So, but yeah, fun time, cool time. You'll be able to bond with them, get the jokes off, listen to the same music. So you'll be able to like bond, but I don't know. It depends if that's what you want or not. You feel me? So, but yeah. And then lastly, number 5, unless you want this type of relationship, just completely avoid it. Okay. Now this is the opportunist, right? Okay. This is like
bro. I'm not gonna lie. These names.
She is just an opportunist looking for opportunity, man. Looking for a guy with some money. Looking for a guy that can change her situation. Looking for a guy that can change her lifestyle. She can adapt his lifestyle. Whatever the case may be. Trying to get some money. Trying to get some clothes, some shoes, some bills paid, this, that, and the third, man. Hey, but this isn't every culture. If you don't know the signs, you don't know the signs, man. If she asks you about anything that relates to paying for something and you just met, red flag, bro. I don't care if she talk about, oh, somebody's sick, guess what? She wants you to put up some money to help somebody that's sick. Groceries, whatever the case may be, bro. If it's about some money, bro, like, I'm out. Peace. Don't ever ask me about no money. I'm not giving you anything. You feel me? It's never happening. And truth be told, they could come from any of the previous categories, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna be charming, they're gonna be experienced, they're gonna know what they're doing. It might sound good, but you gotta, you know what I'm saying, read between the lines, you feel me? But, you know, hey man, I'm in my 20s, so I'm not that typical guy, you feel me? Yeah, they might think that I'm that, but like not really once they get to know me in conversation, like not really, like, they really look for definitely looking for expats, looking for older men, preferably, wealthier men for sure. And, you know, it's not always for love, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times it's for, like I said, all the other stuff, something that's based in finances, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, but this has been my experience dating in Vietnam. Like I told you guys, I think number 2 is the most ideal situation, and it's not hard to find that. You feel me? It's not hard to find that. You just gotta put yourself in the right position. It helps if you know somebody that can introduce you to somebody. But yeah, but Vietnam is cool for dating. I think I ain't gonna lie to y'all though. I think because of the language barrier, I don't know if Vietnam is the best place to find your wife. I do think the women here are amazing, but because of I'm
surprised he said that.
The difficulty in dating a local Vietnamese woman, it kind of like just gets in the way of a lot of stuff. But if you go to other places like the Philippines or something like that, you'll be able to find like a local.
He love the Philippines. He think he's slick.
You know, it's easier to relate that way. You can easily communicate.
Shu think he's slick. Shu is definitely gonna. I think Shu is definitely gonna move to the Philippines sometime soon because I watch his Philippines videos and he was just as happy as can be.